Hey guys, morning everybody. Happy Friday. Today's Friday, May 5th. It is 6:23 right now. Market's going to open in about 7 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple of things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, perfect. Looks good. Looks good. All right. We are ready to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in as we get started today. Hey, Van Harwick, morning. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Martha. Morning, David. Morning, guys. All right, so I'm going to get a few more moments for people to continue joining. Morning, Saren. Nick's asking if I'm going to be trading today. Probably. I got my accounts back, so I was just waiting on one, so I just got to turn my copier back on that one, but I did get my accounts back. So yeah, I probably will be trading today. I mean, I'll see, if the entries look good, then yeah, sure, I'll take it. But if not, I'll hold off. I took this trade right here pre-market. It was that entry I was telling you guys about on the 10-minute. Pretty much just entered it, and then I waited for it to go on profit, and then I moved my stop loss in profit. I got pulled out like at break even, made like a couple $100 on some accounts. My MFF, of course, gave me like a negative, like $10 or something, but it's all good. CJ said you got your accounts back. That was quick. Yeah, it usually takes like less than 24 hours, CJ. Like once you're funded, it doesn't take that long to get your accounts back. They just need to process your payouts and then make sure your trades are cool, and then they just pay you out. So once you're funded, it doesn't take that long. Once you're getting, if it's your first time getting funded, it takes a while because they need to process your information and stuff. But typically, when your payout date comes out, you just tell them, okay, this is my payout. And then they'll say, okay, we're going to clear your account. They put it back to whatever amount. If you reset it back to 200K, that's typically what I do. They just reset it back, and then they'll probably still be processing it, but they'll give your accounts back like, within usually within 24 hours. Nick's asking, I'm assuming you didn't take this last sell, way too close to open. I definitely did not take any trades right now. It's way too close to open for sure. So no entries for me at the moment. Anyways, let me go and check news real quick. Of course, guys, if you guys remember, today's NFP. So there's like big news this morning. I think it was at 5:30. So NFP right here at 5:30. And that's pretty much it for today specifically. I'm going to go to markup. Obviously, you guys know which one is NFP. It's the huge candle right here. It's always going to be the huge candle because it's like the catalyst for the day, basically. So there goes the news price. I think that's the only news for today. Let me check my FX book. There's news over here at 6:30. It's used car prices. Not a huge impact, but I mean, it's fine. It's going to be on open, so we don't really need to mark it up. Let me go and mark up liquidity over here real quick before the market opens. All right. It's good. You guys will see how quickly I can mark up liquidity. It doesn't take that long. Once you're like really used to it, it's really just a quick click because you can just look at the high lows on the chart. Super simple. And you got to make sure that you only identify the ones that are established, right? You don't want to click on the ones that are like still pending, because those high lows can easily disappear. And that's not something that you really care about. Those are irrelevant for the most part. And in order to identify if it's like relevant or not, just make sure that like at least like 4 candles have passed since it's come up. Anything before that's kind of useless, because if price comes down to that area, it's just going to establish a new high low. All right, almost done. 15. And you guys can see the price is super bullish across the board. So we'll probably be looking for buys today. NFP did drop price down, but looks like a huge correction is on its way. All right, so that's pretty much it. There goes the areas of liquidity. As you guys can see, there's an area of liquidity coming up right here. So we'll see how this, how this plays out on open. Market is opening in about 30 seconds, guys. This market right here. No entries for me at the moment. Price is pushing up. Looks like we might get a pretty nice bullish push on open. And we'll see where this ends up going. So, all right, guys, market is opening in about 15 seconds. Big bullish push right there. And I took that liquidity, guys. So I took a quick profit right there, locked in about 2,000. I know it's right before open, but I knew it was going to push up to that next area of liquidity right here. So I took it real quick, just a quick little push right there. When it hit this level, I got in, got a quick 100 pips, locked in 2,000 profit. So yes, Nick, I did enter that right there. Price is pushing up a little higher right there. I'd be careful for this next level, guys, because this is on open right here. A lot of crazy volatility on open. I got that little push earlier, so it was nice. But this right here might be a little more risky if price continues to, bounce around where it's currently at. Right, so I'm going to take a screenshot of my profits so far for the day. All right, so here is my profits so far from that liquidity push. Took this one too right here, guys. I got in a little early. Right there, so I got 2 right there now. And I gotta update my profits again. All right, 2 nice liquidity pushes, huge profits right there. I'm up like 4,000 for the day. I'm up actually more. I got some huge slippage on that next one. Damn, okay. I'm up like 5,000 already. I just put two liquidity pushes right here. So you guys can see I marked up liquidity right here, like in the last couple of minutes. I knew price is going to hit it. Here we go again, another one. I'm not going to take this next one though. This is overextended, way too overextended. So I'm not taking this next one right here, but I did take this one right here and I took this one. This one's probably going to hit, but I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to throw away my profits with this one trade right here. It's just overextended. This has to retrace. So I'm not taking this one here. Looks like it's gonna hit. Hit. It's all good. If you guys took it, cool. I was gonna take it because this is way overextended. As you guys can see, I mean, price has been pushing up since NFP. So, and this is the NFP candle right here, right? This is where the start of the push happened. It happened from right here and it went all the way up. I marked up liquidity here. I was like, okay, if price hits this area, it's gonna push up at least this area. I took this like a few minutes or like maybe a minute before market open. Took that for that first push right there. And then right here on open, there was another opportunity. Price knocked out liquidity there again. And then I took this one, but I did not take this one. So total profit on my accounts are pretty solid right now. If anyone took that liquidity with me. Yeah, so let me just show you guys my profits real quick. That was pretty solid. I just had to get back that stupid loss from like my MFF from earlier pre-market. Right, so I'm up 5,570 on my FTO number 1 account right here, 5,570 on my FTO number 2 right here. 1,670 on my MFF number 1, 1,850 on my MFF number 2, and 1,900 on my MFF number 3. So not bad. Kenny here took the breakout as well, or not the breakout. He took the liquidity push too, both of the trades. Total profit of 1,070 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. Solid. So if you guys stick the liquidity pushes, great. If not, it's all good. Let's wait for the next official entry. So there's no entries for us available right now. As you guys can see, price is kind of above right now where it's currently at. Mark up that area as the high. Mark up this area as low. Pretty big range right now. So not really much of anything to take, not much of anything to look at either. I'll go and mark up news price right there. I'll mark up opening price right. Just one candle. Opening price right there. All right, so price is very overextended. So I mean, obviously you probably want to wait for the retracement. I would probably be careful looking for sells though. I mean, price will probably come down a little bit. So we have a higher high right here. We're looking for price to swing down lower. Looks like there's a new higher high here. So I gotta adjust that a little bit. Yeah, I'd be careful about taking any sells today, guys. Because yeah, price is just correcting from NFP and then just continue to push up even higher. So just be careful if you guys are looking to take sells here. Here goes that entry right here. I mean, if I held this trade right here, I would have made way more profit, but it's all good. This is like a 2,500 pip push. I basically caught it with my liquidity pushes. So it's not a big deal. It's not like I missed anything. But yeah, so there goes the entry right here. If you guys remember this entry I mentioned, if you get a buy signal and trend is bullish, basically if you get a red candle, you put a buy stop at this specific area. I took the trade and then we're getting close to market open right here, so I just kind of pulled out early. If I took the full TP, it would have been 250 pips, but there are 2 liquidity pushes here at actually there's more. There's one right here. This is the one that I took. So I'm gonna go and mark up these entries real quick, guys, so that you guys know exactly which entry I took. And I'll take individual screenshots of my profits as well. But there's nothing for us to take right now, guys. So don't worry. You guys are not missing out on anything right here specifically. But I'm just going to mark this up so that you guys know what trade I took for these wins. So I know a lot of you guys like to go and review my trades. So TPs, these. So that you guys know exactly which profit I made or what trade I took for those profits. Here's Maria. Maria said she took 2 liquidities, but had severe slippage on the first one. Maybe the spread opened very wide. I think that was probably the case too, Maria, because the spread was pretty wide. If the market's moving pretty heavily, like how it did on open, the spread does get kind of wide to just protect the broker. So Maria over here locked in a total profit of 205 for the day. So nice work right there, Maria. Looks like you had a small loss here. I guess the slippage kind of knocked you out. But the second one over here, I gave you a lot more profit and it covered that loss. So nice work right there. Here's Chow over here. Chow is just playing with a demo account today. Looks like smart move. If you guys are not comfortable trading on NFP, which is totally understandable, I'm typically not comfortable trading on NFP either, but the bias right now is so strong for a buy that I was just very comfortable with taking it. So I was okay with taking the buy there. Chow over here is trading on a demo account just for today. Total profit of 2,080 for the day, all wins. So if you guys want to keep trading, like say, for example, it's NFP and you still want to trade, but you don't want to risk your own account, just switch to a demo account, right? A demo account or a trial account, FTMO, just to keep yourself in the game. Because you guys should always be testing your trade psychology. whether it be a real account or demo, you should always be practicing. It's the only way you guys will get better. So there's no entries over here available just yet, guys. We currently have the higher high right here. If price breaks and closes past the pivots with the sell signal, then possible entry. However, where price is currently at right now, it's not looking like we're going to have a solid entry because there's no straight push from this higher high, right? We have a higher high right here, but price is now kind of consolidating a bit down the middle. So if that's the case and it continues to consolidate, then there's obviously not going to be an entry for us here to take. So yeah, and Maddie just said that CNBC released data. So CNBC just released data here. It says Dow jumps 300 points as regional banks rebound, Apple gains, live updates. So right here, CNBC just mentioned that the Dow jumped. So with that said, price may be coming down. And you can see right here that it is coming down. Typically when CNBC reports stuff, it's usually late. And at that point, price is already coming back down. Here, let's see. Karen said breakout was a confluence, so tick and trail got stopped out in profits. Let's see. Ruin said, thanks, Sean. Overtraded, all wins. Not going to push it. Have a great weekend, everybody. All right, Ruin, we'll see you back here on Monday. Great profits for the day. Let's see. Nick mentioned, personally, I feel as if sharing profits and looking at profits could be saved for after the live sessions. Not that we were missing any trades or anything. I just feel like it may help with some new people focus and trade psychology. I mean, we could put a poll on that. I don't know if that really affects anybody. Does that bother people that we look at profits during the live session? Because I mean, I don't know. I've never heard anybody like get bothered by that. But I mean, if that's the case, and if you guys don't want me to share profits or look at anybody's profits during the live session, just let me know. I'll put a poll up in the group. A lot of people actually like when people see profits because it gives them motivation to like take the next trade, right? If they're scared to take a trade and they see other people taking trades, it's going to give them confidence to take a trade because everybody's winning. So I'll put a poll up in the group. Kenny said no, he's fine with it. So we'll put a post up a group. If it's just Nick that's having the issue, then CJ said he's cool with it. Yeah, if you guys want to chime in the group, if it's a problem for you guys, just let me know. I'm here to help you guys out. If you guys don't like seeing profits and you guys think that it messes with your ability to trade, then I'm fine with it. I won't post any profits. I won't look at my profits at all. But if you guys want me to, because we gotta see the balance here. If Nick's the only person that it's bothering and it actually helps other people, then we're probably gonna keep doing what we've been doing for the past the past couple of years or so. But it's up to you guys. If it bothers you, just chime into the group, and then we'll or just put your message in the Zoom. And if you guys actually want me to post it, put your message in there too, because we got to make sure that we cater to everybody here, not just like a few people in the group. So Maddie said he's cool with it. William said, I want to see profits throughout the 90 minutes we're together. Maddie said, I like seeing people make profits. Yeah, I mean, if there's anybody else, just let me know. I'm fine with making whatever changes you guys need. Cern said he likes it. All right, cool. So, I mean, a lot of people are for it, Nick. So we'll I mean, I guess we're going to keep posting, but if not, then, we'll look at it. So it'd be a different thing if like we're missing trades, but we're not really missing anything, right? It's just like, if trade psychology is like your problem, that's probably something you gotta focus on. I talked to like one of our members yesterday, Gian. He mentioned that like he's only on the live session for like the first couple, like 30 minutes or so to listen to my analysis. And then he kind of just goes off because he kind of has the same problem you do, Nick, but not necessarily profit wise. He just doesn't like me. He doesn't like listening to my analysis mid session, which interferes with his own analysis. So that's kind of what he does, but it's all good. See, so we're not missing any trades here, guys. I know we're having a side convo right now, but we're not missing any trades right now. There's no liquidity. I always want to like, if there's changes that need to be made in the group with like how we handle things, and I'm up for it. It doesn't really bother me. I'm still going to make profits either way, whether I'm showing profits or talking trades or looking at other side things. If I see something good, I'm going to take it and I'll let you guys know. So don't worry. My eyes are still glued on the chart right here. I don't see anything to take at the moment, but we are having a little side convo on a Zoom regarding, posting of profits. So I'll keep on here. Don't worry, I'm not getting distracted. We'll be on here. So the next area of liquidity here on the 1 minute is going to be, it's pretty far out. So price is currently down here. And the next area of liquidity is going to be way up here. It's about 2,600 pips away. So I don't think we're going to be hitting that today. I mean, if we do, solid, I'll mark it up for you guys. But it does not look like we're going to be hitting the next area of liquidity by this live session. Maybe by the end of today, but probably not by this live session. It's pretty far up. But we'll keep looking at it. Okay, so let's take a look at everything over here real quick. Everything's bullish. You can see 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, all bullish. 4 hour here is pretty neutral. So 4 hour and 1 hour is pretty much neutral, still down the middle, but everything's bullish. You can see the 1, 5, 10, and 30 prices above the pivots, trend meters green, pivots are angling up. Very, very bullish right here with regard to the shorter time frames. Let's take a look at fundamentals real quick. I'm sure fundamentals are very bullish right now. Currently at 464 points, extremely bullish right now. Looking over here at sentiment is 60% short. So it looks like a lot of these retail traders are trying to catch the top, which is probably not going to happen anytime soon. I think price will continue to climb as we have this very, very bullish bias. So, all right, let me just scroll down to the chat real quick. We're not missing anything, guys. I just wanted to check everything real quick to make sure there's nothing there happening behind the scenes, but I think we're good. Price looks like it may continue to climb up higher. Let me check the YouTube real quick. Morning, Gary. Barty said nowadays market open gives more than 100 pips. Yeah, no, it does, Barty. It's been like very volatile, especially today because it's NFP and we had the Fed interest rates come out this week. We'll see if this continues throughout the week. Typically NFP week will either be really good or it'll be really bad. This is really good because we made pretty good profit this week and the volatility has been pretty high all throughout the week. So that's a good thing for us. Nice. Satyam said he took all 4 liquidities, 1 more win, and now he goes to demo. Okay, perfect. So Satyam here, you can see his goal is to make 5 wins a day. He makes 5 wins a day, then he switches to a demo account so he doesn't overtrade. Smart move, Satyam. I think that's good to have a goal, guys. I know a lot of people say the opposite. They say not to have a goal, but if overtrading and revenge trading is your problem, then obviously switching to a demo account once you reach your profit goal or trade goal for the day is advised. So. All right, let me see. Nick said, I definitely like seeing profits. Don't get me wrong, just feels like it takes away from our focus on trading, but that's just me. Yeah, I mean, I could see where you're coming from, Nick, but the thing is we're not really missing anything, right? If I'm posting up profits and then if I'm like busy posting up profits and I'm missing trades, then that'd be an issue. But I don't really see us missing anything here. Usually where I post up profits, where I look at the chat is when there's downtime. Like right now, there's no entries for us, right? There's literally no entries. And I think that might be one of your problems too, Nick. Like you're not, you don't have the discipline to like wait, right? Like you want to be like on the charts and wait exactly for every single entry. For me, I actually like looking at profits because it takes me away from like staring at the charts the whole time. Because if you're staring at the charts the whole time, you start to look for stuff that's not even there, right? Like for example, here, you could have been like, oh, this is a V1. Because I've noticed you in the chat, sometimes you call out trade direct, oh, it's a V1. And I look at it and I'm like, there's no V1 there. Or you see like, a trade, because you're kind of forcing something. So I think it's okay to like take a break from the charts, like how we do sometimes to look at profits, because if you're constantly on the charts looking for something, you're going to force yourself to see something that's not there. And I've noticed sometimes because you take some trades like really early, like I'll tell everybody like, hey, wait for this candle to close. And you like take it like 5 seconds before because you're like so impatient waiting for the entry. Or if you were like more a little calm and composed, you could have, avoided getting into an entry that wasn't necessarily valid. But, that's just my 2 cents. I'll just scroll down. I'll see what else people over here. So Maria said at the beginning, it affected me a lot. Then I coped with other people's success. Yeah. So Maria had the same problem as you, Nick. Like, it kind of bothered her at the beginning, but she started to like really work on her discipline. And I've noticed that too with your profits too here, Maria. Like Maria, if you've seen Maria post her profits before, she had a lot of like FOMO and like issues with in-ring trades late and over trading and inner trades early. But now she's pretty good. Like, this loss over here, she probably should have had a win, but it was probably due to slippage. So, I mean, Maria's made a lot of improvement, but again, it goes back to like what she mentioned. That was how she was in the beginning, but she's been consistent with the group for like what, a year now, 2 years, maybe even more. So, yeah, no, you overcome the discipline and your trade psychology just gets better. Let me scroll down a little bit. Let's see. Karen said, I find that when people share their profits and their losses, I love the fact that you go back to see where the loss was and help to understand why the person had a loss, which may help others. Yeah, and that's another reason why I like looking at it too. Like, for example, here, Maria had this loss here at 6:30 on open. The only thing I can think of why she had that loss is because stop loss was moved up too close or some slippage happened. And she just ended up getting closed out and then it spiked down at the last second. So Lucas mentioned it does affect FOMO, but it helps strengthen trade psychology. Yeah, which I agree to. So, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. It works in both ways. Looks like Maddie over here caught a high low at 643. Okay, so Maddie actually caught this high low right here. I'm not really looking for high lows, but if you guys are looking for them, there was a high low that was right here. And for me personally, guys, I like high lows when they break higher highs or lower lows. I think those are probably the better high lows to look for. Like, for example, here, there was a higher high. Price broke and closed past it, and then Maddie took it for 115 pips. So nice work right there, Maddie. This right here on open as well. I mean, we wouldn't have been looking for a high low at that point. It's too early in the session. Let's see. Yeah, Maddie said can't get too comfortable. There may be a week where things are super we might be already sit on the live. Market's been decent, but it can, yeah, exactly. So Maddie basically mentioned that, like, market's been pretty good for the past couple of days, basically this whole week. It's been very volatile and easy to take trades, but you have to be prepared for like the worst to happen. Like, for example, right here, there's a higher high right here, guys, and there's a setup coming up for a high low momentum scalp if we get a sell signal that breaks and close past the pivots right here. However, I'm not looking to take any trades here right now because you can see price is just consolidating sideways, right? This is basically what Maddie just mentioned. Price was moving very well right here on open. Market opened here at 6:30 on market opening price. Yeah, so market opened over here at 6:30. Price pushed up very nicely, and then at this point, price is now just consolidating sideways in a range. So market can go from good to great to horrible in a matter of minutes. Right now, price is pretty much neutrally bad. We do have the sell signal right here. Again, if this candle breaks and closes past the pivots with the sell signal, then there's possibly going to be an entry for a high-low momentum scalp. However, I probably wouldn't take any sells right now, guys, because the fundamentals and everything is pretty much very bullish. Fundamentals are still up 400 points. So they're up very heavily. There might be a continuation to the upside. Plus, retail sentiment here is 62% short. I probably don't want to enter on the sells right now because a lot of retail traders are entering sells too. If there's a lot of retail traders hopping onto the sells, then the market makers may continue to push price up. That's basically what I see happening here. As you guys can see, this number was at like 55% pre-market. Now it's up to 62. So you have a lot of retail traders trying to catch that top, which I don't know if it'll drop from here. So if this closes, guys, possible entry for a sell, but a heads up, I'm not going to take this trade. I'm just going to give you guys a heads up now so that you guys don't think that I'm entering this trade, or if you guys take it, take it at your own risk. I pretty much gave my analysis why I'm not looking for sells right now, because it's just too risky to take a sell here. Price can just reverse on you. So if you guys want to take this, make sure you wait for the candle to close with the sell signal, and it needs to close below the blue pivot. It did not close there, so we have another opportunity on this candle right here. If this candle does break and close past the blue pivot right here with the sell signal, then this is a possible entry for a sell. Hasn't closed yet, but we'll see what happens here in the next couple of minutes or so. D's asking, hey, Sean, which strategy are you doing now? Which one are you talking about, D? Because I have a whole bunch of different charts here. I'm not sure if you haven't been on the lives for the past couple of days, or like if you haven't been on the previous mentoring session, but we have like 5 different charts here with like a whole bunch of different strategies. The official strategy is still going to be this one right here, D. This is the only official strategy that we're using, but there's a couple of the strategies that we're looking at. That's why I have all these others opened up over here, just so that we can see if any other entries come up. So a possible entry right here, guys, if it closes, I'm not going to take this entry though. So I'm just giving you guys a heads up right now. I'm not taking it. And it wouldn't matter because there's no entry there. This candle broke and closed past pivot 2, but there was no sell signal. So with no sell signal, there's no entry. Now we move on to a buy. All right, so we're now looking for price to, obviously swing back. Nick said, I never enter 5 seconds prior. I only enter upon open of a new candle, my friend. I swear you see, you like these past couple of weeks, you've been showing me trades, Nick, where you're like, oh, I entered this, you waited for the candle to close, but it didn't close, but you still entered it, right? I mean, it's all good, Nick. I'm not here to judge you on like which trade you take, but I'm just speaking like what you told me. Because I remember everything you guys tell me. Trust me, my memory is really good. If you guys tell me something about you guys entering a trade, like if we're waiting for a trade to close, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to take it, and you're like, oh, oops, I took it before I closed. I remember that. So if you guys have told me that before, I know when people enter trades late, and I know when people, I mean, it's all good, Nick. If you think I'm thinking of the wrong person, then that's cool. But I know you from the past because you've been in the group for a while. And we've talked about your trades, and that used to be one of your issues, entering trades early or entering trades late, because you'll always be in a trade that like I'm not in for some reason. And I mean, it's all good. If that's the case, and I'm thinking of the wrong person, that might be the case. But I'm just saying what I remember from like our conversations. But yeah, anyways, there's no entry right here, guys. We currently have a high low right here. Let's see. Maddie said retail hopping into sells here. It may drop a little bit to lower sellers, may just range have gamblers enter the market. Yeah, no, I agree with you too, Maddie. I think this right here is temporary, so I'll look for the swing back to the upside. But other than that, let's see what's over here. Let's see. Shari, Layla said, keep posting profits. It motivates us. Please keep it. Yeah, no, definitely. We'll keep posting on profits, guys. If that bothers anybody else, just let me know. But right now, it just seems like Nick's the only person that it bothers at the moment. But just chime in, guys. If it does bother you guys, just let me know, and I'll try to make changes, or I'll try to set time periods where we'll look at profits. Like maybe we'll just do mid-session, look at profits rather than when people post profits immediately. The only problem is that like some people have been I'm not really complaining, but sometimes I'll get off the live and I'll scroll down the chat and there's like a bunch of profits that I didn't look at. So like sometimes my chat my messages will be like way down here and I'll have a whole bunch of profits that I haven't looked at. And some people like ask, they ask if I can like look at if I can showcase them on the lives. So, I mean, if that's an issue for anybody, just let me know, but we'll keep that in talks, from now until, changes need to be made. Yeah, so Nick said a few weeks ago, there was an entry that came up with a high-low momentum scalp. The candle closed with the momentum, so he entered immediately. Then the momentum signal went away 2 seconds after. I mean, I don't know, maybe that might be the case. Typically, that doesn't really happen too often. Like usually if you enter early, that's usually where it happens. Or if your internet connection is kind of slow, that typically happens, but it doesn't happen too often. But I don't know, maybe that might be the case, Nick. Either way, I'm here to help you guys. So if entering trades early is not your problem, then it's not your problem, Nick. My mistake, but it's all good. We'll, I mean, we're going to get you funded eventually, Nick. We're going to figure out what your problems are, and we're going to prevent you from making those mistakes in the future. But, everyone has mistakes. You just got to own up to the mistakes. Not saying that you're making any mistakes specifically, Nick, but I'm just saying, like, maybe we should drill down on that because I definitely want to help you get funded ASAP because I know you've been trying for a while. You get really close sometimes, and then, it all comes to shambles. But that's a common thing for a lot of people. Really sticking to the trading plan and being disciplined is really the key. But yeah, I mean, let me see. I'm going to look at the other chat over here and see what else we're missing real quick. Yeah, exactly. No, Kip is talking about his profits. Let's see. So Maddie over here, let me see the profits that he posted up. All right, guys. So we're going to take this time right now to look at some profits because there's no entries for us to take. There's no liquidity around the area. There's no entries over here for any high-low momentum scalps. And there's no, I don't know what I'm going to call this. I got to come up with a name for this. This is basically like a momentum retracement entry. I haven't even gone over the strategy with you guys aside from I think Monday or Tuesday. So it's not really a big deal for us to look at, but I will cover the strategy during the mentoring session if you guys would like. This is a strategy that I used to apply when I was still working like my normal job is when I was working as an attorney before, because I wasn't able to go on live with you guys. So what I would do is I would set up these pending orders on the 10-minute. Basically, I'd look for momentum in the direction of trend. So like, for example, here we have a bullish momentum. And then I put like a buy stop wherever the highs are when you get a red candle. Like, for example, I hear buy signal with a red candle. This is the first entry I took this morning. And it went straight to full TP. So there's no entries here because there's no red candle. There's a red candle that's currently open right here, but it has about like a minute left on it. So I'll leave that as is right there. But there's no other entries for us here. There's no lower low. So there's no buys that we can take at the moment. In order for us to take a buy, we need to get that lower low going. Yeah, no, Nick said he's definitely making some sort of mistakes here. See, he sticks to the strategy no matter what, but sometimes he just takes multiple losses in a row. Yeah, I think you also mentioned to me too, Nick, like yesterday, you said you like double entered some entries. I mean, it happens, you know, sometimes you double click, sometimes you just get too excited and you enter right away, but it's all good. Yeah, I don't know if we had any losses this week. I don't think we have. Yeah. All right, let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. Okay, here's some profits from Maddie. So Maddie locked in a total profit of 585 for the day. Nice work, Maddie. Great profits there. We've got Cameron over here, total profit of 1,039 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Cameron. Solid profits right there. And here is Chow. So Chow said he's on demo waiting for his 10th day of verification. Oh yeah, I forgot. So Chow actually just passed his challenge. That's why he's on the demo right now. Passed his challenge over here, made 10%, 20,000. What was this on the 28th? So Chow's trying to finish out his 10 days of trading. So Chow actually finished his challenge within like a couple days. He just had a really nice hot streak, you know, earlier on in the session or earlier on this week and last week. So he's been killing it. So solid profits right there, Chow. He's just waiting for his 10th day so he can get his verification. Then he'll go back to his actual account. So that's good that you're still staying consistent with your profits and with your trades, you know, because the thing is, like, whenever you guys pass your challenge, you should still continue to trade and just move to a demo account. Because the last thing you want to do is like lose your groove. And then when you get your verification, you're not ready to take trades again. I think everybody should take at least or should practice at least once a day. Because if you guys are day traders, you know, you have to be aware of like how the market's moving. The market can be moving really well on Monday and it can be really shitty on Tuesday. So you need to make sure that you understand that, okay, the market is not really moving well on Tuesday. So on Wednesday, you could be a little more cautious when entering the market. I mean, this whole week's been pretty solid though. Other than that, we have some time in between. We don't have any entries here for any high-low momentum scalps. There's a pending, I guess, buy over here for this candle. Liquidity over here is not looking like it's going to hit anytime soon. Again, as I mentioned, the next area of liquidity is up here. So it's about 3,000 pips away. It's too far away. I don't think this is going to hit by the time of our live session. But yeah, I think that's about it for right now. Here's a clean chart. Let me just mark this up so that you guys can see structure a little better. All right, cool. So, I mean, if there's anything that you guys want me to analyze, like, you know, I know a lot of you guys have your own strategies that you guys like to apply. If there's anything that you guys are confused about, like with analyzing your own strategy, just let me know. If you guys want me to analyze US30 in a certain way, or if you want me to look at it on a different time frame, just chime in so I can analyze it for you. Like if you guys like to trade on the 5-minute, just let me know. I'll pull up the 5-minute chart and I can analyze it for you. It's the same analysis, like literally on any time frame you go on. I look for basically the tops and bottoms, the higher highs, lower lows. Like if you wanted me to look at something like the 1 hour, right? Because I know some of you guys like to trade on the higher time frames. I would do the same thing here. I would mark up the higher high, mark up the lower low. You can see the range right here on the 1 hour. Price is in a huge range. And then you can see from here that price is establishing higher lows. So if price is establishing higher lows like that, obviously price is bullish. And you guys can see it only takes me a few seconds to analyze this. And I can literally tell you where price is likely to go in the 1 hour time frame. So if you guys have any questions, don't feel afraid to ask. I know some of you guys feel like you guys are probably asking dumb questions, but don't worry. I mean, everyone's been there before where they don't know what's going on or they need help analyzing their chart. See a question from Andy. Andy's asking, was 658 a V1 variation? Let me go check real quick. 651 over here. And that's a good question from Andy too, because some people have those types of questions. 658 actually, sorry, 658. So this right here was a V1 variation actually. I didn't identify that, I missed it. I wasn't really looking for it, so I didn't really miss it, but you're right, Andy, that was a V1 variation right there. I know this is you and Johnny's favorite thing now, it seems like. I know Johnny likes this. He always identifies this perfectly, these V1 variations. So this right here was a V1 variation for you guys. You can see there's a double body rejection right here. So there's a double body rejection. Trend was bullish. You got the pending signal. So this right here would have been a clean V1 variation right there. I don't know if you guys caught it, but I know Johnny's typically looking for this entry here. I don't know if Johnny's on here right now. He's probably at work. Yeah, Johnny's not on today. He was on yesterday. He made some pretty good profit. I saw his Instagram. It was up like, I think, 3,000 or 4,000. Yeah, exactly. And he said, yeah, we're getting better every day. No, you guys really are. Because I know Johnny's been kind of hanging out. He's been hanging around behind the scenes for a while. But he started chiming in on the chat and he's been posting up his trade. So yeah, that was a V1 variation if anyone caught that right there. If you guys are looking for V1 variations, I would only look for buys right now because the trend right now is very bullish. So that's probably going to be, the direction that I would be looking for personally. If you guys are looking for something there. Nick said, call him Bad Luck Barry. Now, your time is going to come, Nick. It's just a matter of time. I feel like your trade psychology is just not there yet, or you're just not able to really, because we talked about this, like me and Nick were talking about how the liquidity pushes are they're really good right now, but it's really hard for certain people to identify when not to take them, right? Like, for example, the one that was up here, I said I wasn't going to take it because it was so overextended, but it still pushed through. But I'd rather be careful and not take the trade than take it because I already took two liquidity pushes. I think you should probably limit yourself to like maybe 2 liquidity pushes. If there's 2 back-to-backs, I would skip on the third one because at that point it might be like very overextended. But yeah, no, it's a common issue. I mean, it's an issue for myself too. Sometimes I don't know when to take trades properly because trade might look really good, but the market may think otherwise. Anyways, back to what we were looking at here, guys. There is so price is currently at the same higher high. There's a higher high right here. There's actually a V1 variation right here, not one I would take because it's a sell. So it's not an actual V1. You'd have to have overall bias in that direction, which is currently bullish right now. All right, we got a bit of a double top right here. We'll see if price breaks through it or if it continues to climb up higher. But there's no entries for us to take right now. So if you guys remember the entry I was telling you guys about earlier, there's an entry that's technically running right here. I'm not going to take this right now, but there is an entry that's technically running right there. So my assumption is that price is going to break through here and push up higher. That's just my assumption, in my opinion. I think price is going to break through here. Reason for that is because everything's very bullish. You can see the 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, 4 hours even catching up right here. It's very bullish across the board. And I do expect it to push up a bit higher. So I wouldn't really be looking for sells right now. So there goes, price pushes back up. It's kind of in an iffy area right here though, because of where price is currently sitting. But I do think if price does break through this area, it'll probably continue pushing up a bit higher from where it's currently at. And I'm looking at that because I think this year is going to play out. Price is just retesting this area, and I think it'll blast through and just continue pushing higher and higher from where it's currently at. So we'll see where this is currently at. And you can see right there, it did break through it. I think it'll push up at least a little higher just to like, establish a new higher high and just break new structures up here. Maddie said he took the high-low. Okay, solid, yeah. So Maddie actually took the high-low scalp right there off this high. Well, basically the structure that I just drew. So Maddie took that right there for a quick 100 pips. Solid, Maddie. All right, what I'm going to do here right now is I'm going to go and take screenshots of my profits real quick. All right, price push right through. It's kind of doing what I anticipated right there. You can see prices pushing right through right there. And I think I'll probably push through and hit the TP at that point. All right, so here are the profits across my accounts. Yeah, I caught that too, Maddie. Yeah, I'm up pretty solid for the day. I'm up 7,000 on my FTMOs. I just got to take another screenshot. Yeah, so I took that high-low scalp with Maddie. I'm not counting these trades though. So there's no official trades that came up today, guys. Don't worry. I did take a couple trades here. I took the liquidity pushes. I'm just showing you guys my profits so that I can be transparent with you guys that I'm taking these trades here. Like I'm actually taking my strategies. I'm not necessarily I'm not avoiding them. But they're not going to be considered official because the only official strategy that we currently are taking is going to be the high-low momentum scalp. So, maybe in the future, I'll open up the other strategies because we are getting closer to summer. So we do have to possibly start executing different types of trades. But there was a high-low scalp right here, the one that Maddie took. I actually took it with him when price was pushing up. And then also this right here. I didn't take this trade specifically, but I took a trade that was in conflict with it. So I saw this here on the 10-minute, but I took the high-low scalp that came up over here. Nice. William caught it too. Solid. Yeah, great work, guys. So let me just take a screenshot of my profits. There's no entries for us to take right now. I'll go ahead and mark up the new higher high right here, but there's no entries for us. If we do get a sell signal here, then there's a possible entry for a high-low momentum scalp for a sell. But again, as I mentioned, guys, I'm not looking to take any sells right now because the bias is so strong for a buy. So if you get a sell signal right here and it breaks and closes past the pivots, it's technically a sell entry for the strategy, but the bias right now is just too strong for a buy. Liquidity is nowhere to be found. It's way too far out, still about 2,000 pips. So we're probably not going to be using this chart for the rest of the day. This one right here is still running. I think this will hit TP though. You can see right there, it's pushing up. And I'm just going to call this the momentum retracement. This is kind of similar to the momentum pullback. If you guys remember, this is actually a momentum pullback. So if you guys remember the original strategy, this is like one of the first strategies I introduced to you guys, like probably, it's been a long time, like maybe 5 or 7 years ago. If you get a momentum signal and then price pulls back, or no, if you get a opposite sell signal, so you get a sell signal here, but the trend's bullish, you would set your buy stop right there. So this is called the momentum pullback. This over here is more like the momentum reversal. It's a little different. But again, I'll cover that later. Probably in the next mentoring session. Okay, so we have the possible entry over here for a sell. Again, I'm not going to take the trade, but just want to show you guys that possible sell is coming up right there. Let me check the chat over here real quick and see what else I'm missing. AR said, thank you, Sean, for helping us analyze the market. Yeah, definitely here to help you guys. Satyam said V1 makes 5 wins. Thanks a lot, Sean. Definitely, Satyam. Glenn said, nice, Satyam. Wish I could have taken trades as fast as you do. Still a bit indecisive on times of entry. Yeah, I think that with you, Glenn, you just have to like take the trades. What I'd recommend is because it sounds like trade psychology is like a problem. You're just not too confident with the entry sometimes. I'd recommend just opening a demo account and just take every trade. It'll build your confidence because you will see losses and you'll see wins, but you'll see overall you're going to have more wins than losses. So I think if that's the case and you feel really confident about the trades, then you should be fine. Like for example, here, when I saw entries over here, or I saw entries for the liquidity, I just took the trades. I wasn't too scared about it. And that's because I've been doing this for years. So the more and more that you apply it and more and more that you take these trades, the better you'll be at locking in profits and not being scared about it. Nice. Yeah, AR said, still learning here, but thankfully get 100 pips today. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, 100 pips is really all you need, guys. If you want to take one trade a day, like one quality trade, and lock in 100 pips, if you take a decent enough lot size, that can give you $100 to $1,000 to thousands of bucks. Glenn mentioned, is it just him or is FTMO lagging like 5 seconds? It might have been lagging earlier, Glenn, but for me right now, it looks fine. So maybe it was lagging when you mentioned it, but for me personally at the moment, it looks normal to me. So, all right, let me take a screenshot of my profits real quick, guys. I took a lot of trades today. No official trades, but I did take a lot of these liquidity pushes and high-low scalps, just to show you guys that other strategies are still working perfectly fine. But it seems like a fan favorite for you guys is the V1 variation. So that's pretty much a staple for a lot of you guys here, which is great because it's one of my favorite strategies too. Maybe we could start incorporating that into like one of the official strategies again, because we just haven't really been using it as often. I was just going to screenshot. I was going to screenshot one MFF, but they're all different profits. All right, MFF number 2. And you guys will see on my MFF, I got like a -30, which is super annoying. I don't know if you guys get annoyed by that too, but I get really annoyed when I see one loss that wasn't supposed to be a loss. And I have it right here on my MFF because of slippage. Probably spread. All right, so here are my profits so far, guys. It's like a lot of trade, well, sort of a lot of trades more than usual, I guess. All right, so here we go. Here is my okay. So here's my FTMO number 1. I got a total profit of 7,410. These are all wins. Here is my FTMO number 2, total profit of 7,510. Here's my MFF number 1. They gave me a new account for this one. So you can see that this one took less trades because this one, they didn't clear this account until later. I guess there was an issue with it, so they had to move me to another server. This one right here is a brand new account. They just paid me out and gave me a new login. So this one over here is new, 2,240. This one you can see doesn't have this one has like 5 trades. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I took this one because they gave me the account logins, or they gave me the ability to trade on this one earlier. So I took a trade last night. You guys can see the timestamp. This trade last night right here, but this account didn't have it because this account wasn't given to me until this morning. So FTMO 7,410 all wins. FTMO number 2, total profit of 7,510 all wins. Here is my MFF number 1, total profit of 2,240. My MFF number 2, total profit of 2,420. You guys can see the small loss right there. This was a win for my FTMO. I made 220, but of course, you know, MFF slippage or whatever gave me negative 30. I moved my stop loss in profit, and then it ended up spiking down a little bit. And here's my MFF number 3, total profit of 2,470. So profits across all my accounts so far is, let's see, 74.10, 75.10, 2240, 2420, and 2470. Yeah, so I'm up 22,000 for the day across all my accounts. Not too bad for this morning. All right, well, there's no entries for us to take right now, guys. I'm still looking for entries, but there's nothing right now. Currently, we have, there was a high-low momentum scalp that came up right here and went straight to full TP. I don't know if anybody caught it. It's not one that I would take because I'm not really looking for sells right now, but there was a higher high right here. Price broke and closed past pivots 1 and 2 right here with the sell signal. That would have been your cue to enter the trade. And it looks like it went straight to full TP right there. Yeah. It blasted right through and hit full TP right there. So if you guys took that, great. If you guys didn't, it's okay. I didn't take the trade either, so it's not going to count as an official trade. But there was one you know, high-low momentum scalp right there at that moment. Maddie said MT4 looks like it's behind like 4 seconds. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now too, Maddie. It's moving a lot slower. You know, this might be a good thing though, because this could be arbitrage. Because if you get the opportunity to make entry on because it's kind of behind. So if you make an entry on here and then it spikes up on MT4, you might be able to cover spread before it happens. It is like pretty laggy though. I'm looking at it right now. So that might be your cue not to trade for the rest of the day. Okay, so I'm looking at MT4 right now, guys. If you guys are looking at MT4, the candles are moving like a few seconds behind YM right here. Trading view is on point, but looks like MT4 is behind a few seconds. Yeah, it's definitely behind. So I just saw this push up right here, and the push up didn't happen yet on MT4. And it's actually pushing up pretty heavy. So just keep that in mind, guys. If MT4 is lagging right now, that could affect your trade, whether it be a good thing or a bad thing. It's going to affect your trade, basically your entry time. All right, let me just post this over here real quick. All right, so here's some profits from Maria. So Maria said, it was weird. I clicked open and the trade at 1 second later, it closed with loss. Didn't close it myself as well as the next one. That's weird. It might have been slippage for you right there, Maria. Yeah, so it looks like it opened and closed like immediately right after. Yeah, that is weird because I'm looking over here at your entry time. So your price was right there. Your stop loss was right there. Price never came down to that area. And your TP was fine. You know, I think what happened here, Maria, is you got caught in slippage. So I think what happened was your price was there. It hit your TP, but it wasn't able to close you out and it spiked down like super quickly. So that's just my guess, Maria. I think this was not your problem. It wasn't your fault at all. I think this was just it was just slippage. Because if you did this on open, which I think you did, it looks like you took the liquidity push with me. Looks like your entry hit TP and then it pulled down before it was able to close. So it's unfortunate. I know it happens sometimes, but that's kind of what it looks like. Because I remember here on open, market opened up, spiked up, came down, spiked up, came down. So you probably just executed your order a little too late. All right, let me just copy this over to the other groups real quick. Sure I didn't miss anything. Here's some more profits from Patricia. Patricia's currently up 3,265 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Patricia. Solid profits right there. And here's Kevin over here. He said he's trading off his phone today because he's out of town. Total profit of 6,085 for the day. Nice work. All wins for Kevin today. Solid profits right there. Let's see. Martha said, I don't like when price is riding the pivots like this. I like trades when price is completely above or below the pivots. I took a couple of moves earlier when price was above and I'm up 2%, hoping to catch another one before the end of the live. Yeah, no, and I agree with you too, Martha. So my personal preference is when the, and I'll look at a different chart here. It's easier to see. My personal preference, like what Martha mentioned, is when the pivots are fanned out. And that's like a term that that CSUK uses. So like whenever price is above the pivots and the pivots are fanned out like this, you know, odds of price continuing to push up higher are very likely. So I prefer it when price is moving like this. When price starts to cut in below the pivots and they start to get a little tighter like this right here, I don't like this because this is indecisiveness, right? Whenever price gets to this area, price can either correct back up or it can break below. So I don't like when prices like this. Like for example, over here, I like when prices like this. I don't like when prices like this. This whole area, I don't like how price is at all over here. When price starts to fan out over here, that is a good sign. So yeah, no, you're basically on point with that, Martha. You know, a lot of the more veteran traders identify that, and you identified it pretty early on, so that's good. So yeah, looking at yeah, so Martha said, yeah, trade on fans, exactly. That's like the best way to trade. So like for example here, Martha, you can see how price was above the pivots. It was pretty clear. You got the buy signal right there, straight push to the upside. So there's no entries right now, guys. There's a possible buy coming up. So we currently have a lower low right here. So if we get a buy signal that breaks and closes past the pivots, then we have a possible entry for a buy. Let's upload over here. All right, let's see. Question from Justin Wool. Justin Wool is asking, what's stopping you from getting more funded accounts? There isn't really any other reliable companies out there that work well with scalping. So I'm already maxed out on FTMO. You guys will see from my FTMO. I mean, all you guys know that already. I have 200K FTMOs. I have a total funding of 400K. So that's the cap for FTMO. Same with MFF. I have 3 accounts with MFF. They're all 200K each. So that's 600K right there. There isn't really any other company out there that's really good at scalping. I've tried TFF, their execution and spreads and slippage all suck. I pass their challenges. Every time I pass their challenges, they put me on the live account and they're not friendly with scalpers at all. Like you guys have seen before. Every time I do a TFF account, I'll pass the challenge within a couple of days and then they move me to the actual live accounts. And then it just gives me losses. I'll make like a 2,000 profit on like FTMO and they'll give me like -500 on TFF. So TFF is definitely not one that I'd recommend for scalping. there's a lot of other companies out there that are kind of okay for scalping, but they have a lot size cap. So I think there's like a couple companies out there that are okay with scalping, like their execution times are fine, but their lot size is like capped at like 30 lots, which just doesn't make sense for me to scalp on. It's going to be impossible for me to get funded because I wouldn't be able to pass the challenge. I have to take like, 30 trades to get to that point. So for the most part, I mean, if you know any companies, Justin, let me know. If you know any funny companies that are good with scalpers, I'm all ears. I've been looking for a new company for a long time now, but for a lot of these companies, either they don't allow copiers, their lot size is capped, slippage, execution times suck, spreads too wide, fees are too high. Like I think one company that a lot of people were talking about before was like E8, E8 funding, which I heard they were good, but their fees were too high. So you'd make like 1,000 profit and then you pay like 800 in like fees. You're making really 200 profit. It's not really worth it. It's not worth it because if you have a loss and you have to climb your way back out, you're going to be screwed because you're making partial profit per trade. So yeah, I mean, if anybody knows any funding companies that are good with scalpers, let me know. I've been looking for one, but I don't want to waste money on these companies that aren't really reliable. FTMO has been good though. That's my bread and butter. FTMO at the moment. Okay, so we have a possible entry right here coming up, guys. If it closes, again, you guys have to wait for the candle to actually close. But there is there's nothing right here. You guys have to wait for it to close, right? So make sure that you guys actually wait for it to close. Don't enter like a few seconds early. Nice. So Glenn over here actually took the V1 variation. Looks like it already hit your TP, Glenn. Solid. All right, so it does not look like it's going to close. Womp womp. So that would have been a good entry if it closed. It looks like it would have went straight to TP, but it did not end up closing with the buy signal. So unfortunately, no entry there. The volume here is starting to move kind of weird. If you guys look down here, you guys can kind of see there's a slope here for the volume. It's starting to get lower. So the volume is starting to die down a little bit. That's not really what we want. We typically want volume to be high because you want it to blast right through our TPs like on every single entry. But the volume here is starting to die down a bit. Nice. Yeah, Glenn's trying to be more confident on his entries. Yeah, no, that's solid, Glenn. I mean, you're the only one that identified the V1 there. V1 variation is pretty clean. Double body rejection, lower low. Hey, here's another thing too. If you guys get a V1 variation and it's off a lower low or a higher high, it's probably going to work out because whenever you get a lower low, it's establishing like the floor. So you get that right there. It'll push it pretty nicely. Those are my favorite ones to take. Like, for example, right here, there's a higher high, V1 variation, and went straight to TP. Right there. So yeah, if you guys want to improve your profitability, if you want to just focus on higher highs and lower lows, you can. I even we updated the indicator. So if you look at the indicator here, you could even turn off the high lows and it's just higher highs and lower lows. So you can see where it establishes the tops and bottoms. It's like pretty useful because that's exactly where price comes crashing down from. Higher high comes down super heavy, lower low, price goes up, higher high. Price kind of goes sideways a little bit, but it does come down. So yeah, something to look at. I always improve the indicators. If I see something that can be used better, I'll make improvements. Now, my goal here is to make as much money trading as possible, but also to help you guys make as much money trading too. Because it helps both of us. It goes both ways. You guys come up with the ideas, I make the adjustments, and we all win. All right, there's nothing for us to take right now, guys. That buy signal didn't even close, but there's no other entries for us at the moment. Liquidity is still very far away. Yeah, it's still 2,700 pips away. So it does not look like we're going to be looking for any liquidity pushes anytime soon during this live session. Yeah, there's just not really much to look at here right now specifically. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Looking across the time frames over here, everything's still very bullish. 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, and the 4 hour is starting to shift to the upside as well. Pretty bullish for the most part. Looking over here at the fundamentals, are currently up. They're up 445 points, so they're up very high right now. Let's see, Trump deposition in E. Jean Carroll rape defamation case released in court. Looks like Trump, there's a case where someone sued Trump for rape and defamation. Interesting. Man, Trump's having a horrible year. He's getting fucked like all kinds of ways. And he's running for president again. We'll see. If Trump becomes president again in the next race, I think it's going to be a pretty interesting year, because Trump's going to, if he does become president after Biden, he's going to be president in a time where we're going to be going into a recession. And, you know, I think he'll actually help the recession. Like, I'm not for Trump with regard to personality wise, but his business decisions do make sense. So we'll see. That's the breaking news from CNBC right now. There's nothing else going on. The Dow's currently at 400 points. Looking over here at retail sentiment is currently at 64% short. So if you guys are not familiar with this, this indicates where the retail traders are currently trading right now. So majority of retail traders are currently selling at the moment, 64% of retail traders. So we typically want to do the opposite of them, right? So if they're all selling right here, we typically want to buy. So everything here is bullish with the trend. Everything is bullish with the fundamentals. Everything's bullish here with sentiment, because we want to do the opposite. Obviously, we want to look for buys here. So that's basically what we're looking for, but there's nothing to take right now at the moment. So if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. I can help you with whatever you guys need help with. It's currently 7:35 right now. We still have about like 25 minutes till 8. So we have some time to look for entries. However, the volume here is dying down completely. So it's not looking like we're going to have much opportunity here in the market at the moment. So you guys see, this is why I trade between 6:30 and 8, because from 6:30 and 8, you get a pretty good amount of entries. If you guys saw my trades for the day, I took about, let's see, I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades right here within like this little trading period. And you can see here the volume just gets lower and lower. So you can see the volume start very high here on open at 6:30, and it just gets slower and slower and slower as we get closer to 8 o'clock. This is normal. Price will probably pick up between 8 and 9 for a little bit, and then people will go to lunch, and then it'll drop back down a little bit. There's my yawn indicator. All right. So there you go with the buy signal right there. There's no entry for us right now specifically, but there is that buy signal that's currently pushing price up right now. Let's see if the volume pushes up. If we get that buy signal and it pushes up above the average over here with regard to volume, then I think price will probably continue pushing up even higher. This is a pivot scalp entry right here. I'm not in the position. I just wanted to show you guys. So I'm calling out a lot of different strategies here, guys. Not one I would take specifically because price is going sideways. You typically want to have price moving directional, but that would be considered a pivot scalp entry. Let me see if it's a momentum scalp. It's also considered a momentum scalp entry as well, because it's bullish across all the time frames. Not one that I'm typically applying right now, but just wanted to call that out in case you guys are looking for that specific entry. There's no entry here. If price does swing back above, possible buy entry. But not really looking to take it here. No liquidity. Here's a clean chart. Let me go and update this a little bit. new higher high. Low. All right, so here's our clean chart, guys. As you guys can see, there's not really too much going on here, right? Price is just ranging and consolidating within this area. Price has actually been consolidating for a long time now, since 640. So for the past hour, price has just been ranging and consolidating down this area right here. So the consolidation started around this area over here. And you can see here now that price is just going sideways. So not much to look at here, as you guys can see. This is why I like having a clean chart. So as you guys can see, again, if you guys are new here, and I know D, he probably hasn't been here for a while, I'll just review with you guys what I have open here. So I have this chart over here with the orange tab. This is going to be for liquidity pushes. If you're not familiar with the strategy, just review the previous mentoring session from Monday, I believe. So if you guys want to watch that mentoring session where I kind of explain the strategy, just go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Kodi Kai Trades, and then pull up the, just scroll down a little bit. Look at the live mentoring sessions and look at the session from May 1st right here. It's going to be the most recent one. If you click on that right there, I'll explain the strategy here. It's not a strategy that I like to teach people very often. I'll use it to analyze the markets with you guys, but it's not one that I typically like to teach new traders because it's a very risky strategy unless you know what you're doing. So basically with the liquidity pushes here, what I'm doing is that I'm identifying liquidity, also known as like stop loss areas where people place their stop losses. And then when price triggers those areas, we take our entries there. That's how I took my two first entries earlier this morning. So like basically like these over here. Basically everything with the 200 lots. So these three right here, or these two right here, actually were liquidity pushes on open right there. Made about like 4,000 off that. So this chart with the orange tab is for liquidity pushes. The one next to it is going to be a clean chart. I don't really have much on here, just a lot of markings with regard to zones, high lows. So we can identify market structure. So you can see market structure is a lot easier to see on a clean chart. And that's why I have this here clean. The one with the blue tab is going to be for the official strategies, the high-low momentum scalp. We don't have anything for that right now. This chart right here is meant for the SR rejection scalp strategy. The reason why I have this up here is because we're entering summer. As we get closer to summer, market's going to start to go sideways a lot more often. And this strategy is perfect for a ranging market. So that's the reason why I have this open here. Just so that we can keep an eye out for it, because as we start to make the transition to summer, we're going to have to start to change the way that we trade slightly. Not necessarily a big change, but a change nonetheless, because we have to adapt with how the market's moving. Right? That's the only way you guys can survive in this. But it's not going to be a big deal for you guys because I'm here. So it's not like you guys have to do too much work anyways. I'm going to do all the analysis. I mean, you guys can chime in and do your own analysis as well, but I'll pretty much analyze it for you. Right now, market is kind of in a volatile week, but at the moment, it's currently flat. All right, so this is for the SR rejection scalp. And then lastly, the green tab over here is going to be for the 10-minute. I'll basically be looking for bigger time frame entries right here, applying the I'll call it the momentum reversal. Not necessarily take the full move. Maybe in some instances I will, but not most of the time. Most of the time I'm probably just going to be looking at using this as a confluence for when I look for the buys. So for example, right here, we have another red candle. I'm moving my basically my buy stop to above here so that when price swings up, it'll fill it. And I'll use this as a confluence because if I have a buy running over here, I can look over here and look for other trades that would come up. So looking over here at that pivot scalp, if you guys took that trade, it looks like it already hit. Yeah, so went straight to full TP right there. If you guys took the pivot scalp that I mentioned, this was a pivot scalp and momentum scalp. Two strategies in one, basically a double confluence. No high low though. If it broke past this high low, it would be considered a triple confluence. And if I saw that there, I would have actually taken that trade, but it wasn't a triple confluence. All right, price is ranging, just retested this low again. Let's see if this ends up bouncing from here, if it continues to go sideways. Let's see, Satyam said, thanks, Sean, for identifying other potential entries other than high-level momentum. Yeah, no, I'm here to help you guys out. So like if you guys don't like the high-level momentum, I think majority of you guys do, but I will be looking for other entries here as well, if that becomes the case. Let's see, 4030 is asking, how much did you start when you began trading? So I began trading when I was like 21. So I'm 32 and I've been trading for over 10 years. I started trading stocks with like, I don't know, $100, a couple $100. So I started trading stocks initially, and then I moved to options, and I realized options was like a lot of gambling. I don't really like options, guys. I know some people like to trade options, but I feel like options is like, it's a lot of gambling. And the thing is, I think options is good when you have a small amount of money because you can really flip that. But once you have a lot of capital, you can just trade directional. Like I would prefer to just take buys and sells and just exit whenever I want to versus, taking an options contract and then I have to wait for price to get above my strike. That's like super annoying because sometimes it'll never happen, right? And you'll end up, your contracts will just expire and then your contracts are pretty much useless. So yeah, I started trading stocks when I was like 18 to 21, moved on to options, and then I started working like a regular 9-to-5 job. So I started trading Forex because it was open 24 hours. And then for the past, I think 5 years now, I've been trading US30 strictly for the most part. I do trade Forex every so often, but it's not something I like to trade because I don't like to be on the charts every day. When I was trading Forex, I had to be on the charts like 24 hours a day, which is super annoying. You can't really do much. Now for US30, I just trade from 6:30 to 8, and that's pretty much it. And I have the rest of the day to myself. So I started with a small amount, and then it kept compounding from there. And then now I just trade with funding companies because it just makes more sense to me. When you trade with a funding company, you get a lot more benefits with regards to like tax deductions and stuff because you can treat it like a business. If you're trading a personal account, you can't really treat that like a business. It's not the same thing. Unless you classify as a professional trader, which I probably wouldn't recommend because then there's cons to that as well. Like you have to pay for like data. Like for example, I pay like $5 a month for YM because I don't classify as a professional trader. If you were classified as a professional trader, you have to pay like thousands of dollars for that for this data here. Because they charge you more because they expect you to make a lot more money from trading. So better to stay below the radar to basically milk the system. Not really milk the system, but prevent yourself from getting caught up in that. There's other ways to treat trading like a business. Like you can open some sort of service, and then like you can open like a mentoring service, and then you can just run your trading through there. Yeah, Dijon said that's why I stopped trading options. Yeah, options is really risky. You guys remember, like, if you guys ever watched like Wall Street Bets and stuff, like there's or you could even just YouTube option fails. There's a lot of people who lose a ton of money trading options. I think the worst part is when it goes to expiration and you don't make anything on it because you kind of just wasted a whole week holding that option, and then, or even a whole month, and it goes nowhere. All right, so there's nothing for us to take right now, guys. It's 7:47 right now. You guys can see the volume here die down like almost completely. The volume here is so low. So if you compare the volume right here to how it was over here, it's a bit different. So if you guys are not familiar with the volume, this basically identifies like the orders that are coming in, like basically how many people are trading at the moment. Right here on open, a lot of orders are coming in. So the volume here is super high, and it just got lower and lower and lower. And the reason for that is because today's Friday. If you guys remember, today is, or if you guys remember what I mentioned, Fridays and Mondays are usually the riskier days to trade. Monday because people are entering the market, Friday because people are exiting the market. Looks like a lot of people already bought in right here. and then exited the market. And then people sold off right here and then now exit the market. So as you guys can see, the market isn't really doing too much. You can see it better here on the clean chart. It's probably just going to go sideways from now until 8. And then from 8, it'll probably move up or move down a little bit. So you'll probably see something like this or something like this. And then from there, it'll go sideways for a bit. And then possibly a sell-off towards the end because people are going to exit for the weekend. So not really too much here. All right, let's see. Yeah, Patrick said, I started in options too. Hated the waiting game. Yeah, it's super annoying. Or you know, the worst thing, Patrick, is this, right? Like the worst thing is say you're like so close to your option contract expiring. Like this is typically what happens. And you guys, this is what happens a lot with option contracts. You'll see price kind of move down a little bit. And say, for example, your strike price is like right here, right? You have so you got like some puts there, right? You got some put contracts right there. Price is below and you're in profit right here, right? And then it gets to like the very last second of your expiration, and then it spikes up, and then you're out of money. So if you were just trading directional, you could just pull out. You have a stop loss in place, right? But if you're an option, you're trading options. This will happen a lot. Like you'll be like in profit, and then at the very last second, price will just spike up, and then you're pretty much screwed. I think that was the thing that really like pissed me off the most trading options, because that's typically what will happen. You'll see manipulation happen at the end of these option contracts. You'll be like pretty decent in profit, and if you let it go to expiration, price can easily just shift the other way, and then you're out. Yeah, Patrick said, yes, it happens more often than you think, bro. It really does. Patrick said there's way more manipulation in options than Forex. Yeah, 100%. I actually made a lot of money in options for a while, and then I lost it all. So that's when I was like, all right, this is just gambling. So I stopped trading options. I mean, I probably could have kept making money, but I just never wanted to work on my skills with, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's ways around it, you know, exiting the contract early, but it just wasn't for me. I hate to be waiting in the market like a whole week or a whole month, and then it takes you nowhere. Yeah, CJ said options are really stressful. Yeah, no, they are 100%. Yeah, Patrick said, I remember when I first joined K2, we had option strategy too. Yeah, no, I used to, so the option strategy that I used to use was the momentum scalp. I didn't really classify it as that, but it was one of the strategies that I typically would use. There's an entry right here, guys. I missed it, but I don't think I would have taken it anyways because the volume here is very low. Price is consolidating. There's a high-low momentum scalp right here. So there was a lower low right here. Price broke and closed past the pivots right here with this buy signal. And this here would be an entry for a high-low momentum scalp. I'm not in it though, so we'll follow it, but I'm not in it. Let me scroll up real quick and see what else I missed. Let's see. Lucas said, off for the week. Thanks for all the guidance, Sean, on a new challenge, and don't want to start it off by taking any risky trades in these last 15 minutes. Yeah, I agree with you too. Lucas, probably best idea for you to just wrap it up. Sorry. Have a great weekend, Lucas, and I'll see you back here on Monday. Dejan said, I'd be sick if a contract I was in ended up on Wall Street bets, especially if they were all trying to push it in the opposite direction. I know, John, right? That'd be the worst feeling. Nick said, I'm just going to have to accept my bad week and come back next week. Hope you all have a great weekend. Definitely, Nick. We'll see you back here on Monday. Dejan said, last time I traded options, the company lost a big production contract in the very next week. And I don't think they ever recovered. Yeah, no, that happens a lot, Dejan. Sometimes companies, I think that's what happened with me too. I was trading this like food service company with options like a long time ago. And then they were like actually a pretty decent company and big. And then the next week they just filed for bankruptcy, like all of a sudden randomly. And then the entire stock just pretty much crashed, and I lost all my money. Well, not all of it, but majority of it. So yeah, that happens a lot, Sean, where random stuff like that will play out. So we got the high low momentum scalp still running here in profit, guys. I don't like the way the candles are moving though. If you guys can see how these candles are moving, lots of wicks on both sides, no bodies. That's not a good sign, because if you see that happen right there, there's a lot of indecisiveness, and this could lead to a breakout, hopefully a breakout in your guys' direction. If you guys are in this position, I'm hoping it breaks out to the upside. But you guys can see there's a lot of wicks here and very little bodies, if any at all. All right, Satyam, we'll see you back here on Monday. Glenn as well. Glenn said done for the day. Thanks, guys. I feel like I'm already over trading. All wins though. All right, Glenn. Yeah, so definitely for you too. So I'll see you, Glenn, and Satyam back here on Monday. It's about to be 8 in about 7 minutes, guys. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm not in this position right here, so I'm not really worried about it at all. I'm just following it, but I'm not in the position at all whatsoever. And I don't plan on entering it because it's too late in the session. It's getting close to 8 o'clock. Volume's very low. But I still hope that this pushes up and hits your TP, just for the sake of the strategy and for the sake of you guys who are currently in it. Yeah, Maddie, 100%. I agree. All right, let's see. Purity said, so Purity said my chart was showing that it was ranging while yours was showing bullish market during the live. Go to your trend leader settings and change settings to chart. All right, so I'm not in this position right here, guys. Another reason why, I mentioned that I didn't want to take it was because that breakout just played out right here, right? So a lot of weird candles right here, price broke out. And I mean, it's too close to 8, so it's not really an entry that I would want to take anyways. So I'm not in this position here. I mean, we're still following it, but I'm not in the position, so I'm not really too worried about it at all. There was a V1 variation, so I would have taken this V1 variation right here, though. Just notice that. Yeah, I don't know if anyone caught that V1 from earlier. That'd have been a full TP. All right, so price is still bouncing around where it's currently at. There's nothing for us to take here. There's no entry here on the 10. There's no SR rejection scalps. Yeah, there's not really much of anything here. This trade's still technically running. It's a risky trade though. Let's see, question from CJ. CJ is asking, when you use the high-low to identify fake outs, are you looking at rejection off pivot points as well? Yeah, no, I'm looking at a little bit of everything, CJ. So I'm looking at anything that will give me a hint in the market. So like if I see a rejection off the pivot, that's, benefit for me. So like, here's one thing. If you see a rejection off a high low and it's a rejection off a pivot too, it's probably going to bounce. Like, I was trying to see if I could find an example here. I don't really see too many. Yeah, I don't really see too many here, but if you were to see like a rejection, like for example, rejection off the high low and rejection off the pivot, then that'd probably be a good sign that it's going to bounce. What I would do, or like what you mentioned like with the fake outs, is so there's one way that Sisuk and a couple of people here. I'm going to show you up here on this. I wanted to go to a clean chart because it's too messy on the other ones. Let me see if I see anything over here. Because this is pretty, okay, so this is actually like a perfect thing that I just want to show you guys. So here's an example. This is I'm probably going to look over this and maybe introduce it to you guys later in the future, but this is something that Sisuk and a couple of the other guys have been applying. It's basically identifying the fake outs for high-low momentum scalps. So for example, here we have a high-low right here, right? And you can see that this candle over here, and I'll just replay it real quick just to show you guys an example of it. So what Sisuk and a lot of the other guys do is they wait for the fake out. So for example, here there's a high-low scalp right here, right? They don't enter immediately on this candle. They wait for an actual fake out to happen. So they look for this here and they see it, and then the next candle pulls down, right? See how it fakes out below? This would be the fake out. I mean, the trade's probably still in profit. Yeah, it's still in profit, but they look for this fake out right here. And then when price swings back up, that's where they make their actual entry. So when it comes back and retests it, which eventually it does, and you can see right there, they have a buy stop right there. It shoots right through and blasts right through to a TP. So this is like a variation to the high-low scalp that a lot of you guys like to apply. But this kind of gives you like almost a guarantee. No, I don't want to say guarantee. There's no guarantees in trading, but it gives you the opportunity to make late entry and still make a really good profit on it. So let's see if I can find another one here. Yeah, the only problem is that it doesn't always play out that way. Sometimes, you know, these high-low scalps they just shoot through immediately. But if you're too worried to take it right away, you can wait for it. And again, right here, here's another opportunity. Same thing. So like initially right here, it broke through on this candle, but then it pulls back, and then basically you just have your buy stop just waiting there for it to come back up. And then when it finally fills, blasts right through to TP. So, I mean, you're going to get less entries with these high-low scalps, but these are like almost for sure going to hit. Yeah, Martha said, yeah, that's how she takes it based on what Sisuk taught her. You miss entries by not taking the next candle, like the strategy suggests, but you also avoid a lot of losses. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's something that like some of the guys have been working on. I didn't really like, I mean, I've been kind of busy, so I've been chiming in with them, but it's something that definitely works pretty well. Yeah, I mean, there's another one right here too. Actually, this one just broke right through it. Went straight to TP. All right, guys, but it's 8 o'clock right now. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Maddie's out for the day. I'm pretty much out too. There's nothing really to look at here. So the trade's still running, guys, at high-low momentum scalp. See, I wouldn't want to be in this trade because I'd be super stressed out right now because price just keeps going back and forth. And this trade should have hit TP like, you know, an hour ago, basically. So this isn't the type of market that I want to trade in. I already knew something like this was going to happen because volatility here is very low. You can see the volume here died down. You want volume to be pretty high so it blasts right through to your TP. Not that I don't think this is going to play out, but this trade is just running for too long. You know, these trades typically hit within the first minute or two. This one right here has been running for about 13 minutes now. And there you go, full TP. So if you guys take the high-low momentum scalp right here, full TP, congrats to you guys. That should be enough to wrap up the trading week with some nice wins. So, all right, guys, I'll see you back here on Monday, Maddie. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat now. Otherwise, if you guys are new here and you guys want to review any of these strategies, there's a ton of strategies here. My whole list of strategies, I have about over 30 strategies over here that you guys can apply. If you guys are new here, just check out our website, kodikaitrades.com. Again, this is the website right here, kodikaitrades.com. Click on unlock your free access right here. Once you get to that, you'll go to the course page right here. And this is what the course looks like. I have about like a ton of strategies here that you guys can look at and you guys can learn. What I'd recommend is just, find one strategy that you really like and then focus on. I think this strategy here is probably the easiest because you don't have too many criteria to follow. But also I'd recommend that you sit in on the live sessions to listen to my analysis because I'm not taking every single trade that comes up. I typically like to take trades in the direction of the trend. So, all right, guys, other than that, have a great weekend. Today is Cinco de Mayo, aka Cinco de Drinko. So have fun, be safe. If you guys are in the US, I think the US is the only country that celebrates it. So if you guys are here in the US, have fun, have a great weekend. And I'll see you guys back here on Monday for market open. So, all right, guys, have a great weekend. I'll see you.